Today is Sunday, September 18th, 2022, and I am on Roosevelt Island with the United Nations building behind me. And as you may know, last week, from September 13th until September 27th, the UN General Assembly is in session. So there are a number of sessions. The high-level meetings will be, I think, the week after next. Nevertheless, this is the first time I'm doing basically a video diary, a video podcast, discussing my day. I really don't have any format doing this, except that I hope to go to different places and maybe talk about what I did during the day or the news. So you're really getting to know me, and I've never done anything like this before. Today, I got to meet friends at the Met Museum. I was 1 minute late for the ferry. I knew I'd take 7 minutes from Astoria to get to the Astoria ferry, but I had only 5 minutes, and for reasons, I ended up taking the N train to the Lexington Avenue station and transferring to the 6 local and going uptown. And they wanted to meet at a restaurant on Madison Avenue and 82nd Street. And it's been a while since I had a pastrami sandwich, so that was very good with coffee and cake. So I certainly indulged myself. And now I'm visiting another friend here in Roosevelt Island doing this first video. And this morning I had prepared like the news of the day as an idea of things to talk about. And I'm being completely open on this here. If anyone, you're interested in hearing what I have to say. But some of the news that I put down, besides, well, I wanted to talk about my day, and I may have to, and that was really, actually, I'm going to cut this all out. So some of the news that I read this morning was about crossing borders, and that they can actually take your data from your iPhone, but they don't just do that surreptitiously. They take your data, and knowing that they're gonna hold your phone and they'll retrieve it there, and supposedly it's saved because you don't have any constitutional protections when you cross the border, as people believe. They think there's constitutional right. There is no constitutional rights when you cross the border. It's exempt. And my iPad's not working here, so I'll just go back to Google Keep. So I'm going to have to go off memory here on some of this news items. But obviously the big news was Governor DeSantis hiring charter planes from Texas with a stopover to Florida, and he flew them into Martha's Vineyard, which I've never been to, and born and raised in Long Island, living in New York City all my life, 58 years. I've always wanted to go to Martha's Vineyard. It's quite an expensive place. So now I'm hearing he picked up the migrants in Texas, and they had a stopover in Florida and then made their way to Martha's Vineyard. Now they're at a military base, and supposedly most of them want to go back to Florida because that's where they have relatives. So it certainly made national and international news how we're handling migration, and party politics is really interfering with so much progress in our country. And this divisive order is a problem. And I'm not taking a stand. I'm being apolitical, and I don't mean to just mention him. There's also an article today about NASDAQ Nancy, as they call her. So, and she's holding up the bills to stop insider trading amongst Congress, which I don't particularly, from what I know about it on the face value, is that I don't think such a thing is fair, really, if it's not available to, John Q. Public to invest in. Why should it be privy to Congress for them to know insider trading and put their own money and profit and benefit from there? They're implying that their salary is too low. Well, raise your salary and serve the public on that. I have to look around. There's a lot of people around here. It's a beautiful day. It's warm. It was 81 degrees, a little bit humid, and we had a cool night last night. So I'm just breaking this up here in New York, and I actually was cool in my apartment in Queens, and it's been hot since May with the air conditioning running. But I'm looking just outside. And I see NYPD patrol boats which have machine guns on them, and they're really casing the entire island and any would be potential threats when the assembly meets. The world leaders will meet here. Probably the president will come. Usually does, but tomorrow is the Queen's funeral, and all the dignitaries there. And that's another news item, is that many of them have to take buses, and it's kind of funny whether we know all the details about the buses, but North Korea and South Korea, they made a joke on the same bus sharing the seats, and that's funny. But I doubt that's what's happening. And a few diplomats were allowed to take their cars. Erdogan was not allowed, so he didn't go, and he sent somebody in his stead for Turkey. And of course, the United States has their security. They didn't listen to anyone, or they weren't going. So the Secret Service doesn't listen to anyone. And that happens tomorrow, and the Queen did not want it to be long and boring. And my mother's English, and she probably doesn't want to watch it because it's probably sad to her. The longest reigning monarch, 70 years. But if we talk about politics, what the royals did or not, that's a whole other affair. And I really don't care. I mean, not that I don't care. I don't want to see that, but rest in peace. I did like many of her speeches personally, what she said. I thought there's a job at hand for the royals, but do I feel any type of sympathy and things like that? I did for Diana. I was working at CBS News that night, was told to go home, and that was a big mistake because I was the technical supervisor and the lights never came on when we had to replace Dan Rather. He was out in the island on that Labor Day weekend when she died, and Vince Dementri took what we call the flash cam at CBS News, and we couldn't turn on the lights, so he had to broadcast to the nation that Diana was dead, because the news was so sporadic when working with former reporter Dave Rowdy that she was seen walking away from the scene with a leg. Now, when you get news reports like that, and this is incredible, a seaplane is actually going to fly right over my head, right directly over my head. I've never been that close to a seaplane in my life, and that is pretty amazing. This is what I love about New York City. I mean, you never know what's going to go on. There's so many people, so much, Today I saw the obelisk in Central Park. I just took a detour, rode it and saw that. And then I went to the zoo and saw rams and goats. Wow. And seeing all the people, it really is something. In New York City, it's the best description for New York City, the adjective would be hysterical. You never know what's going to happen. I mean, you can't see the shot right now. I'll take a picture of it, but this was the old hospital. What was the name of that hospital? What was that? What was it? So the smallpox hospital. Smallpox hospital. It was. This is where they kept people with smallpox. I think 100 years ago, 1930. So Roosevelt Island, isolated from the city. It's getting really nice now. The sun is setting behind the UN, and it feels really good. And I'll be taking a ferry home back to Astoria. What else in the news? I don't know. I don't have the Wi-Fi here, and my phone is charging. I guess I can look there, and I'm going to look over here. And just too many gadgets. Again, my first time doing this, and I'm probably it's gonna be a little broken up, the video. And just no, look, the story's not even available. I should have written them down. They're not shown right here. But the news about Haiti. I wanted to talk about that because January 12th. New York State Sanitation? It's coming from Hunts Point. That's New York State Sanitation. I guess it'll be in the shot now. It's famous what? The ship's name's Hunts Point. But it is a sanitation barge, right? Yeah, okay. We have to wonder where our garbage goes. Yeah, the other news was Haiti is in flames, basically, figuratively, because it's like anarchy there because the price of gas is one thing, but it never was the same after that earthquake on January 12th. 2010, I was in Santiago de los Caballeros in the Dominican Republic, and I was in a hotel by the top floor, and that was the strongest earthquake I ever experienced. The entire hotel was shaking, and I did everything wrong by just trying to escape the building. The earthquake was already over, but little did we know that only miles away, past the border, Haiti was decimated. Didn't know. CBS News didn't know I was there. I communicated with one person. They didn't pass it on to the other. They just said, stay safe. And had they told them, I could have gone over and covered it, though it may have been a real mess for me. So they had to send a crew, and we were already delayed. And I had a camera. I could have done so. So we could have been first Johnny on the spot to report that, but that was a big mistake. Yeah, hindsight's 2020. Who knows how it would have turned out? And so I came back home. But that was pretty bad earthquake. And living in New York, I experienced two earthquakes in New York City. No, sorry, one in Long Island, one in New York City, and 3 or 4 in Chile, and none in Greece or Crete, and then that one in the Dominican Republic. So I don't know, about 10 minutes, 20 minutes long. I don't know what else to talk about here, except that I had a great day and talked with friends about a lot of things, and seeing 2 very close friends who came to visit. And here I'm holding up an old subway map. Now people think this is like prehistoric. Everyone uses their iPhones, but your iPhone's dead and all this. I want to know where the trains are and the accessible stations to get on. And so these one day will be gone. And so that's it for my news digest of the day, September 18th, 2022. Just doing this on memory, and I will edit this and try to make it. You'll notice chops, and I hate chops. I like to do straight, no cutting, nothing fudging, straight there. But I'll just see how this goes. Whether I even publish it or not, I don't know. If you see me, then I published it. If not, it's just a test and for my friends to gauge if it's any good. But this is something, though, we've been meaning to do for a very long time. I've wanted to do it because I often have an opinion, or at least I like to talk about the news and get a little deeper in it and get to the facts. And I didn't do my homework, even though I did find my scratch pad, my yellow pad and marker here. So I promise the next time I will do something a lot more in depth. So I'm going to wrap this up as the sun is going down, and the park is going to close right now. They're actually closing the gate. So time to go, and until next time, I hope you enjoy this, and let me know. Please feel free to comment and let me know if there's anywhere in the city you want me to go to besides somewhere dangerous, or and I'll go there. I certainly still enjoy and am exhilarated by seeing things in New York City as they happen and unfold each moment, every day.